USA Warrior Stories is a not-for-profit organization designed to record, archive, and share videos of veteran stories, to help veterans make a connection with one another and to help us all better understand their sacrifices for our freedoms.
So my name is Michael Kilano. I served in the Marine Corps from '99 to '03. Best time of my life, the first 3 years until 9/11 happened, and then I deployed into Iraq. And so March 20th, it's like the second or third vehicle to kick off to cross the Burm, and it was messy. If I was going to do the military, I wanted to become the best. I wanted the most challenging thing. I know I kind of needed that discipline, and I wanted to see the world. You know, and that was my goal, and I'd be able to get a trade, so when I got out, I could utilize that, right? So being I didn't want to go to college, I signed up to be an electrician in the Marine Corps. I had to change my date, and didn't realize that when you change your date, you could potentially lose your job as well. That's not locked in anymore. So by the time I got out of boot camp, and I was telling everybody I'm going to become an electrician, and and very excited about this, until after MCT, this is a Marine Corps combat training. They said, "Oh, say my name," and said, "Kilano, field radio operator." So they were laughing at me. I had no idea what this was about, and once they told me, I cried. I was like, "This is not what I signed up for," and I was to be dispatched in an infantry unit as a radio operator. Far from what I imagined to be signing up for. Well, with every experience that is the unknown, for me, ended up to be the best time of my life. By the time I was 19, been to 20 different countries, on a ship. I deployed twice. I was on the USS Boxer, which is really cool. It was an LHD. I was on the Harpers Ferry. I was on the Ogden, which was like a wooden ship. That thing was old and raggedy. And it wasn't until 9/11, to where it's 2 days off the coast of California, just finished working out on the first Westpac. And my buddy said, "Hey, Mike, hey, Kilano, there was a terrorist attack in New York." From New York, I'm stationed in California, and very serious thing. I said, "Don't play like that." And the news came on, and all of a sudden the captain came in. 2, 3 in the morning when the first helo went down, Scud missiles coming out, full Mach level suits. That's when, out of all the training as an active duty Marine comes, like, this is why we're here. All that training that we breathed, ate, slept, took into play. And our job in the unit was to take over Qasr, Zubayr and Nasiriyah. Once that mission was done, that allowed everybody else to go to Baghdad or Fallujah and continue on once these ports were secured. Those 4 or 5 months were utterly life-changing. I still have nightmares of my mission or what I had to do that I can't get out. But it was intense, those first couple months, because kids carrying things, and you didn't know, it had so many reports, and, like bombers, suicide bombers. It could be women, it could be kids, it could be, you name it, but I learned to like those Iraqis, and I saw kids that would give us food, and we love America, but the kids had one arm, because Saddam chopped the kids of the parents that either owed or they messed up somehow, some way, or met one kid that had one eye, because a soldier took his eyeball out, a kid. I was a field radio operator. I was also a saw gunner too. I was part of the COC. So I did, it was a combination of both. But I think because I messed up somehow, right? I got in trouble for hazing because some guy he fell asleep on duty, right? And I told him, I said, they're going to kill you if you keep falling asleep on duty. So I buried his weapon, and that kind of got me in trouble, for hazing. So I think they made me, and I always wanted to carry the 9 because the radio was already heavy as crap anyway. So they gave me this saw to freaking carry, and that's what I ended up doing. Thank God that I had this thing, though. I remember I was in Nasiriyah in a firefight for on top of this hotel museum or something that we took over, and it was hot as balls out there, and they started coming, and I called down. I said, "Listen, things are not looking too good up here. I'm going down," and sprayed in that direction, and boom. Next thing you know it, I'm hooked up to some kind of IV, and it's probably why I have belly issues now. I had they said I had the Nasiriyah, is what it was. So the doctor said, "You're fine." Put some IVs. I think I was out for a couple days. It was like that bad. And I said, "I'm not fine. Most people poop is brown. Mine was green." And he said, "Oh, that's fine." I said, "But yeah, well." But yeah, that was. But then, thank God, I would have took that over 9 or M16 any day, because that was a lifesaver. Butter jam, butter jam. It was great. When I got out, they didn't really. Even at 2003, I had PTSD. Wasn't really much of a thing. I was working, bouncing dangerous jobs, and like the fugitive recovery stuff and personal investigations and trying to go to school. Literally, I was going like 24/7, but I had to keep going because I couldn't sleep very well. And that was a way that I would not think about things. It was very new at that time, too. I was an exterminator, a substitute teacher. And then finally, Home Depot hired me. I was doing loss prevention with them. I did that for about 10 years, but still didn't know that I had all this stuff going on. Drinking and drugs and, you name it. Anything that was dangerous, like I was doing, like really reckless stuff. 2008 is when I got married, and then I had my first kid, and second. And even through that time period, I just worked all the time. Went to Bible college. I was going to become a minister in the church, but it wasn't not until I was facing homelessness, and I was told we had 30 days to get out. I had 2 kids at the time, and I think that's really where someone was like, "Did you ever go to the VA?" I was like, "No." And they said, "Okay." SUS helped me in Amityville, and then he walked me to VA, and I got evaluated, and they said, "Oh yeah, you got some stuff going on," and told them, where I've been, and pulled up my records, and so yeah, that makes sense, PTSD, TBI, and the isolation was really bad. I could be in a room of the stadium, and Giant Stadium or what have you, and feel the loneliest person ever. And I couldn't get out of there, out of that mindset. And then with the isolation, that turns into anger, and I couldn't be out even with my kids for so long because things started getting wanky. I had panic attacks, flashbacks, and my hypervigilance. I didn't know how to have fun. But yeah, it got bad because I almost checked out. I was going to smash my car in a wall. I stopped showering for some X amount of days. I didn't even want to shave because I was afraid that I was going to bring that razor across my neck. And then I would be pissed because I woke up the following day in the first place. I'm going to die in my sleep or something, ideally, because I don't like pain anyway. So that's... And then I went to go to the VA just to get, I guess, a touch of my medicine, And then they said, "Oh, you're not going home today." So a weekend in 22 in Northport, the internal psychiatric unit. It's only supposed to be a weekend, turned into 30 days. Made a lot of good friends there, which is weird, you know. I was like the mayor of freaking 22, and then they said, you know, I have to go to the PTSD program, and that's a 3-month program. Stayed 4.5 months for that. They let me out in Thanksgiving, Christmas time, right? It's too much, the crowds, and you know, and just a lot of activities, a lot. Just couldn't handle it. Ended up right back in for another, instead of 3 months, another 400. And then that's when pandemic happened. You know, so then there was no visitors. I couldn't go home to see my family, and I was there for my birthday, you know. So that was tough, you know. But I knew that, 7 months as compared to the rest of my life, if I could be a better dad, better husband for my family. For me, to be out in the open water, that moment of tranquility and the peace where the ocean is so vast, it gives me a chance to declutter my mind and continue pushing on. My name is Mike Kilano. I'm a veteran advocate through PAWS of WAR. Every day, approximately 22 military personnel end up committing suicide. I served from 99 to 03. I was a part of initial invasion of Iraq. I have bad PTSD for myself, and I have my struggles daily. My isolation was really bad until someone said a service dog would be very beneficial to you. PAWS of WAR helped save my life. I have a Rottweiler service dog by the name of Nova. She's my lifeline. She's my peace within the storm. When I'm having a bad day, she knows exactly what to do to turn my frown upside down. I could have a bad day at any given moment, you know, or something change, or a flashback, or what have you. She'll come up to me as soon as I put my hands over here, and she, Daddy, like, you know, kind of, she'll alert me or trying to snug up me and try to take my mind off of it. This dog is just, knows when something is not right, and she tries to make it right. And she's the one who got me out of the house. She's the one who got me walking. She's the one who got me wanting to go out again, because now I feel like that I can. Hello, baby. You love Uncle Mike, don't you? Well, we're at PAWS of WAR. I left Geico after 10 years to come here, and it's scary, you know, coming from a corporation to a non-for-profit, you know, but yet it's my home, you know. This is where I need to be. This is where I want to be. And my hope is that the other veterans would feel the same way. You know, the love that's here and just the atmosphere, the environment. Yeah, so this is our resource center. Like I said, it just basically put in a name of what we have been doing, but opened up such a beautiful center like this. It's not 100% done. There's things, you know, we still have to kind of do, but this is what I saw when I first came with the completion. We had people working almost, it seemed like, around the clock between painting the walls and edging it and hanging up these beautiful pictures. Like, when you look through this stuff, you feel like, yes, this is why I'm here. This guy here is a very good friend. Does a lot. This is Rob and Chip. He comes with me a lot of events and does presentations. He was a 9/11 firefighter, and he wasn't even supposed to be on duty that day, you know. And you come on here, and this used to be just all storage, right? All it was just no walls, no offices, but this is where the behind the scenes things happen. You know, this is where we're reaching out and making those connections, the people. And now you have every office filled, where there was only a couple of people here at one point. The connection is where you have typically an animal, right? And that's where we kind of bridge that gap. Because a lot of places, if you're facing homelessness, you can't just bring your animal with them, and it will connect you with different organizations. Because remember, a lot of us veterans get very anxious and, a lot, and we alleviate the pressures so that they can focus on what they need to do for their own lives, for their own family, and they have that peace of mind that the world's not on their shoulders, but yet you have some backup, so we got your six. It's the perfect motto, helping both ends of the leash. It's helping life in general, and that's how I kind of look at it, because you do have these cats or dogs, really, really bad situations, whether overseas or whether abusive or puppy mills or what have you. Some of our dogs never even saw grass. The moment they come here, they get that stress-free life, as you will. It's the first time they're eating 3 times a day perhaps, getting love, pet, socialized, cuddles. And then you have that veteran who, like myself, felt so broken, so lost, hopeless, helpless, to come to a place to where now I got the backup. And now, even with people in our veterans that graduated the program, they don't leave. They always continue to come back. And now they're starting to get more involved. And so the veteran gets a second chance at life. The animal gets a second chance at life. People really could buy into that. You have a abused animal, essentially abused veteran, beaten up or lost in that case. And that's something that people could buy into. Now you fast forward today, struggling with my marriage now, things are still a little wonky, trying to build that trust in the relationship with my kids. But I think because there was so many years of, I guess, putting my stuff on my family, kind of, I messed them up a little bit, so I just have to continue to fight, continue to do the right thing, continue to be there.